Welcome back to a new video, and on this occasion is the Galaxy Tape Echo from UAD. This one is an emulation of the legendary Space Echo from Roland. And okay, so as soon as you turn it on and you put something on it, you're gonna start getting, that effect. Now, notice that right here you have a peak level, and it's because right here you have the wet solo. I'm gonna go all the way to, just listening to the process signal, not the dry one. As you go up on the input, it's going to saturate the signal. This is clean, saturated. So you can saturate the signal and then, go up on feedback and get that, saturated delay. Again, all of this is up to you. If you go up on the volume, it means that you will need to go down right here. And if right here you have the volume for the echo, we're going to talk about this in a minute. For now, I'm just going to go maybe back to defaults. Now, the fun right here begins, or the magic happens, when you use the different heads. On the original unit, you have 3 different heads on different positions. Since this is about delay and time, each head is positioned on a different place. So for each head, you will be getting a different time. Right now, the times are controlled by the echo rate. If I go to the 1, we have 177 on the 1, but the head number 1 can go all the way from 69 milliseconds all the way from 177. If I go to the number 2, it's gonna position you right here on the second head, and we can do different times. 131, 336. And if I go to the 3, it's gonna be 189 and then 487. So as you can see right here, we don't have a 2 seconds delay. And this is the whole, how this unit sounds. If you want 2 or 5 seconds delay with a cloud or maybe evolving type of sound, this is just not the delay for that. So, it can give you really cool sounds. But the point is that when you start and I'm going to play something, changing the heads, you have different times. That's the point. But then, if you keep going up, you have different combinations. And you're going to get the combination of the 2 and the 3, and they have different times. So you can start, something a little bit different. If I go to the other ones, we have the same we have right here. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. And then when we go to the 8, we have a combination of the 1 and the 2 with different times, of course. And then 2 and 3, 1 and 3, and then all the heads at the same time. And this is, why this unit is so, legendary. If you go to the 1, the 2, and the 3, you only get the echo. If you choose a head from 5 all the way to 11, you have reverb and echo. So first it's gonna go through the echo just like we have on the 1, 2, and 3, and 4. But then, it's gonna go through a reverb stage. Right now, we're just getting the echo. We don't have a reverb because you need to go up in the volume of the reverb. As we keep going up, we hear the reverb. And it's a spring reverb, if you might ask. Still, since you have a volume and you want to use the different combinations of the heads, you can always go down in the reverb. If you only want to use the reverb, you have an option that says reverb only. So it doesn't matter how much, the echo volume. If you go up on the reverb, we are just going to be using the reverb. So if you think about this, this is a delay, an echo machine, but also a spring reverb. Now I'm going to go all the way down to the reverb, and for now we're going to go all the way down to the feedback. So if I stay maybe on the number, I'm going to go to the 6. If I play it back, the second most important control on the delay is going to be the feedback. And this one is pretty cranky. Which again, this is what we want from a tape delay. If I go up, we're gonna start getting it. If I keep going up, it's more. And at some point, it's gonna go nuts. Now, one cool thing that you get with the feedback is that you can self-oscillate. Right now, I'm not playing anything. The DAW is stopped. But if I go up, you're gonna hear that it's gonna start to self-oscillate. pretty crazy. This is something that you don't get on other emulations. You just don't get it. So they emulated this, which is, I think it's, pretty cool, pretty faithful to the original. On other emulations, again, you get a lot more options. On this one, you don't have a million options for the delay. It's just an emulation. But on other, emulations, you just don't get it. But in this one, you do, which is, kind of nice that you get that, analog type of vibe. And one thing you need to be aware of is going to be the sync. Right here it says tempo sync. I'm going to be playing a different clip. And when you go to sync, of course, what it does is going to sync to your whatever DAW tempo you have. The thing is that since the heads are pretty limited in what they can do in time, even if you change the rate, whenever it's steady, it means that it's going to be doing that. We're going to go up and go up a little bit more in the feedback. So when I move this, it's gonna do it, as we can hear. But at some point, again, since we have very limited times with the heads, when it's just blinking, it means that it cannot do it. So if it's blinking, you're not doing anything. It depends on the head where you're standing. If I go to other ones, again, we have the same deal. It can do some. Cannot do all. Still, even if we change the echo rate, just like this, it sounds pretty cool. If I go to, of course, tempo off, sync off, you can still get that, emulation, that, detuning when we change the times. There you go. All right. So it sounds pretty good. All right, so another thing that you can do is going to be EQing the treble and the bass. And the treble and the bass, they belong to the delay. So what you EQ is going to be the delay or the echo. Go up on the, on the treble, or you just make it darker. And if I go to wet solo, it's going to be a little bit more obvious. I go up in treble, now it's just brighter. Same with the bass. If I go up the bass, it's more of the bass or less of the bass, and different combinations. But this is an EQ for the echo. If you use this, you're not EQing the reverb. The reverb will only stay the same. Alright, so that's it. It's pretty much the whole plugin. Now then, just to finish, you have this extra options. The wet solo, which is the one we are using right now, it's very useful because if you want to put this on a bus where you're sending, you need 100% wet, and you don't have a knob or maybe something to change it. So you just enable wet solo. It's going to be only wet and no dry. Same on the other side. You have the input send. Right now, everything is going through the echo. I'm getting a little bit of reverb. Maybe I'm gonna just leave it so we can hear it. I'm gonna go to the input send and I'm gonna mute. And now we are just disabling the signal that goes into the echo, and we are just getting the reverb, right? And whenever you choose, you can go back and enable the echo, and you're gonna start getting it again. And this is a cool option to do some automation. Now, then you have the tape loop. You have 3 different flavors. It's going to be new, used, and old. And on this one, I'm going to go to the other one. I'm going to go down on the reverb. And I'm just going to be getting the echo. Now, if I change to old, maybe I'm going to go down in input, go up on output. Notice that there's a little bit of detuning. So, of course, it's very subtle. But as the tape wears out, you get less quality and you get more a higher whoa and flutter, which is, that detune low-fi type of sound that you get with tape. And again, you have 3 different flavors. Old is going to be more detune, more lo-fi. Used, it's a little bit better. And then you have new, which is pretty clean. Now then you have this splice, and this is a sound effects. If I go all the way, we are all the way on the wet solo, and I go back to old, I'm I'm gonna enable, just go up on the feedback because this works great, or it's very noticeable when you go up on the feedback. The splice, when you switch it on, is gonna give you like maybe a type of effect. And maybe I'm gonna go to something maybe a little bit more simple. There we go. I'm gonna go to splice. And there you go. It takes a second to give you that type of that sound, and it's like a detuning. There you go. I'm gonna shut up and do it. And if I go back, it's doing it again. So it's giving you kind of an imperfection, and it takes a second to kick in. And this is very noticeable when you use the used and old, and you go up on the feedback. If you're using the new, it's not that noticeable. So yeah, it works better. It works a lot better when you go up on feedback and you use the used and the old. But yeah, just an additional feature that you get right here. And alright, so I think it sounds pretty cool. And it's something, a thing that I forgot to mention is that you can pan the echo and then the reverb. I guess this is just pretty obvious. And if you open it maybe a little bit to the right and to the left, it's gonna get wider. This is why you get the echo pan. You could even modulate this if you wanted to. So I think this plugin sounds very good, in my opinion. Of all the emulations I've tried, I guess this one is the best, or maybe even the second best. But it's pretty cool. And all of you, I know that you're getting this plugin on a bundle, and I got it on a bundle, and maybe you're disregarding this plugin because it's cheap and you get it almost for free. But you should not disregard this plugin because it sounds pretty cool. And okay, so that's it. If you like all this, remember to like and subscribe. And if you have the money and you want to help the channel keep going on, you can. You have links for PayPal, YouTube Thanks, and Patreon.